Hello everybody. Hello my beautiful people. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to yet another cow texturing stream. Woohoo! Hopefully we should be finished with the texturing today. I feel like I've been working on this thing for months, and I technically kind of have because I'm only working on it like once a week. When I stream. For the next game dev streams I do, there's a couple of options. Number one is rigging this cow beast. I don't know how entertaining that would be to watch, but it could be educational. Educational content! Woohoo! Another potential stream is more costumes for Judith, watching those be modeled and textured. Another option is Deacon's redesign. I am working on a redesign for Deacon. Yay! Out of all of the main cast of kids, he's the one I think has the most missed potential in terms of his design. He's supposed to be a member of the main cast, but he looks more like an NPC, I think. I don't think his design is bad, but it's just so boring, I guess. So I'm tinkering with a Deacon redesign right now, and maybe I will stream altering his model to reflect that. I also want him to be taller too. Additionally, there are other creatures to be made. Only a few more left, I think. One would be the crow creature, which we started sculpting on stream, but I was distracted watching the Game Awards. Also, there's other stuff to texture, like environment stuff. I don't know how I'll easily make a thumbnail for that, though, because having a thumbnail that's not like some kind of creature or person is a little different. It's a little hard to get people to click, I guess. You may have noticed I also have set a donation goal for the stream. It is just $5, one donation for a super chat goal. And if that happens, then I'll show you guys the dancing link gif again. I don't know how well these goal things work, so I just set it basic for now if anybody's interested in supporting the stream. Let me go ahead and look at chat real quick. I see that it's been schmoovin'. Rod Stewart Geek says, loving the music. Yeah, this music, by the way, I gotta shout this out. This music is from the game Esoteric Ebb, which recently came out on Steam. And I played it, I enjoyed it, I loved it. If you're looking for a fun D&D/Disco Elysium inspired CRPG to play, I recommend Esoteric Ebb. And for the next hour, we're going to be listening to the soundtrack from that game. So, shout out to them. All right, and with that, let's go into work mode. One of the first things I want to do is start work on the little tail back here. The giant horn tail thing. The thagomizer. Yes, it will have stripes, I just haven't made them yet. I think this is one of my favorite songs from the soundtrack. I don't know why. It's just so evocative. First lore question of the stream, asks Multifandom Studios. Can Psyquine get used to looking at lots of color over time? Yes, they can. Lydia was able to do that while she and her brother journeyed across the stars together. Like, when they start using those glasses that block color to protect their eyesight, they can over time use glasses with lower and lower prescriptions. Color glasses, lower and lower prescriptions, until eventually they can pretty easily look at all the color the galaxy has to offer. Some people don't bother, though, if it's just a short trip. They just use the glasses the whole time. Is it possible for someone to be born with two different horns depending on their parents? One is goat horns, one is gazelle horns. Not quite. It's more like the horns themselves would be sort of a mix of the two. Generally, though, if you have two different races of parents, you'll probably just be one or the other horn type. Probably just be one. But on rare occasions, like with Miss Bellafax, then maybe you'll have a mix of the two traits. Or a horn that is a mix of the two traits. Miss Bellafax is the obvious example of that. Yeah, you don't need to remind me that you've asked a question unless said question is like far back in the chat or something. Like if the question is still visible in the chat, you don't have to remind me about it. What did y'all think of the latest Digital Circus episode? I thought it was pretty sweet. Pretty fun. How many fiefdoms are there, and what are they inspired by? I'm glad you asked. There are 8 fiefdoms. Let me bring up my fiefdom art real quick. Okay. It's teaching time! I'm actually making a video on this that should come out pretty soon on my channel. I really need to make more devlogs, but I've been so busy doing other stuff for the game that I haven't had time to do devlogs recently. Forgive me. There are 8 fiefdoms, but the ones that are most important to our story are these 3. Corvinstone is where the king rules from. It is inspired by America, specifically 1940s Art Deco. But these stained glass windows were made like 500 years ago, so for now it's just Renaissance-inspired costumes. But in modern times, it looks Art Deco 1940s. Dragonspire is the fiefdom that the game takes place in. It is very closely, has a close relationship with Corvinstone. A relationship that Northburg is jealous of, which ends up starting the war that is very important to the plot of the game. Drakenspire is well known for mining and the high-quality gemstones that comes from its mines. Northburg is more known for orchards and agriculture. Northburg is more French-inspired, Drakenspire is England-inspired. Then we have Metallskog, which is inspired by Norway. There's Dolina Mira, which is Russian-inspired. Oilenbile, which is Irish and Scottish inspired. Then we have Faro Volante, which is Italian inspired, Italian and Greek. And then there's Blomsterang, which is Swedish inspired. Taylor asks, what happened to his horns? How come he doesn't have any? I don't know what you're talking about. All of them have horns. Yeah, all of them have horns. I have to double check my own art. But yeah, I'm still super proud of how these turned out. I love these. My little stained glass windows. If you were on Noivas, which fiefdom would you live in? Well, probably Corvinstone, because I'm American. I'm American. How can you tell? How did you know I was American? The Nordic-inspired one does have horns. They're just kind of hidden in his hair. See? These parts right here. These are horns. Which one of the fiefdoms is the biggest? I'd have to look at the map again. I'm pretty sure it's Corvinstone, but I'd have to look at my map again. Celestial says I'd have to say either Corvinstone or Oilenbile because I'm American and also I have Scottish heritage in my family. That's cool. How fun. My ancestry is mostly German and English. So Drakenspire would probably be my ancestral home. But my family has not been in Europe for a very long time. Pretty much full-blooded Americans at this point. I'm excited to share more about the other kind of non-European, non-American inspired countries as well. I don't have the visuals for them yet, but for example, the place where Lydia and Mr. Cabrera come from is inspired by Peru. I still need to do some more work on the diamonds on here because they're not looking diamondy enough. But I'll save that for later. For now, yellow, 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 yellow. Yep. Hanashika is the Japanese-inspired country. You will see a bit more of the style and kind of art of some of the sorts of stuff that comes from there in the game because there's a Japanese-inspired classroom, the gym. How many continents are there? Still working on the global map. Great, I think we've got lawnmowers outside. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. You were going to ask what the Spanish nation looks like, stained glass-wise. Yeah, they're not part of Corvinstone. They're their own sovereign nation, so they don't have their own stained glass, because the stained glass was for Corvinstone fiefdoms to go in the library of the school. But you'll be learning a little bit more of that country when you talk to Coach Terrera, because she comes from there. Corveth, yes. Corvinstone is the fiefdom, Corveth is the country. Taylor says, I have a question. When people go on vacation, instead of going to another country, do they just go to another planet? Well, it just depends on where you want to go for vacation. And obviously, interplanetary travel is a lot more expensive than interplanet travel? Interplanetary travel, is that a word? Extraplanetary travel versus intraplanetary travel. Yeah, you just have to, just depends on where you want to go. Do you want to stay on the planet vacation or travel to another world? And do you have the money for it? I don't. Are we going to see more about other monsters from the Inked Wastes? Why, yes. Why, yes, indeed. Are we gonna get a video on the Inked Wastes? Because that's the place I'm most intrigued about on this planet. Potentially. I haven't planned a video specifically on the Inked Wastes, but that seems like the kind of thing that might come up at some point. Multi-fandom, I don't necessarily know what you mean by geographic-wise. Do you mean cultural geographic? Do you mean like literally has similar structure to the shapes of Europe, Australia, Asia, all that, like similar shape-wise to the literal way the continents look on our world? Or do you mean geographically, like weather-wise? I don't know. Sorry. Ivana says, why are you coloring the whole tail? Because I decided I'd like to do that. Similar structures, yeah. No, not really. Not in my head, anyway. Actually, most of the continents are more near the equator, I'd say. Because the planet is so cold that once you start heading up north to maybe where we have real world Greenland, it's almost basically too cold to survive. So a lot of the civilizations are much more near the equator than they are on Earth. I was watching a couple clips of the Houston rodeo, and I saw some of the most beautiful cows I've ever seen getting auctioned off. It was kind of incredible how, like, well taken care of they were and how well groomed they all looked. They all looked so cute. And they were being sold for extreme amounts of money. Maybe it wasn't cows, actually. Maybe it was bulls. Because usually as far as I know, it's the bulls that go for the most. Because they're for breeding specifically. But man, these cows were like... Cows and bulls were so, like, specifically groomed. Like... It was just very cute. They looked very huggable. Ivana asked, will there be cameos in Noramore Academy like from other games of yours or even other games or movies like Nancy Drew, Carmen Sandiego, or Mariposa? I'm afraid I cannot reveal that to you yet. You'll find out. Ha ha ha. So after finishing Carabella, you're doing Judith costumes next. Can I ask what kind of costumes? I don't know for sure if I'm going to stream Judith's costumes next. That's one of the possibilities. And if we do, I'm probably going to stream maybe her cowboy costume that one of our Kickstarter backers suggested. That might be fun. Our little English girl cowpoke. That would be kind of funny, doing the cowgirl costume after finishing the cow. But I might also be doing Deacon's redesign. Another question from Multi-Fandom Studios. Would you make a spin-off of Noir More, or a game that takes place on the same planet? Potentially. I have some ideas. It's gonna depend on how well this does. Ivana asks, are you voicing one of the characters in Noir More Academy? Yes, several. Right now, I'm voicing the vendor, Secretary Bellafax, and the nurse, Nurse Violet, and Becky. Welcome back, Celestial. Oh no, no multiplayer. Maybe someday in the future we'll make a multiplayer game, but definitely don't have the resources for that at the moment. Nor is there any real need for it to be. Noir or MMORPG. You only play as Judith. More four swords. Thank you, Project Seltzer. Okay, the tail is not done. It's still in a rough state, but I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And continue on the fur. I got some more games on sale for the Steam summer sale. I mean, spring sale. One of the games I got was Secrets of Black Rock Manor Escape Room. And I got Paradise Killer and I got Neva. So those should be fun to try out. I'll let you guys know what I think about them. I also played... Hold on, let me pull it up. The Fantastic Kitty Roo! Now available for only $2.99 for the Steam Spring Sale. So let me go ahead and link that all to you. You know what's funny is that it shows that I only have 2 hours on record for my own game. That's because I'm on my business account right now, not my personal Steam account. But that's pretty hilarious. Somebody will probably on Twitter will like screenshot this and be like, look at that, guys. She only has 2 hours on her own game. Can you believe this? The audacity. The sheer audacity. Anyway, give the Fantastic Kitty Roo a try. I think you might enjoy it. It's an excellent game, if I do say so myself. Not so shameless plug, really. This is my stream. I get to advertise my video game. It's only $2.99. It takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get through. Like watching a movie. So it's the price is basically the equivalent of renting a movie on Amazon Prime. An interactive movie. Also, if you enjoyed the game, please give it a review. Or, if you didn't enjoy the game, you can also give it a review. It's up to you, as Nancy Drew. It's up to you, as Nancy Drew. That's the phrase they would always say in like the commercials for the Nancy Drew games and the teasers for the new games that they had coming up. Those were the good old days, man. No, in the teasers, she would whisper it kind of creepily, like, "It's up to you, as Nancy Drew." Because those games were really spooky and scary. And they were like horror games for 7-year-old me. What's funny is that I'm pretty sure the copyright for Nancy Drew no longer exists. So I could quite literally, probably, have a character in my game named Nancy Drew. Like an NPC or something. I also am thinking about just having the entirety of Steamboat Willie in there as an Easter egg. You just come across the kids watching it on the projector. Look at this Earth movie. It's so wacky. Yeah, because it's been like over 100 years since The Secret of the Old Clock came out, which was the first Nancy Drew book. Let me look it up. Let me see, like, can you actually just use her name straight up, or is it only the old 1920s Nancy Drew that is of public domain? Let me check here. This means the original 25-chapter text of the first 4 Nancy Drew books, published in 1930, The Secret of the Old Clock, The Hidden Staircase, The Bungalow Mystery, and The Mystery at Lilac Inn, can be reprinted or adapted without violating copyright law. Interesting. Yeah, but what about... Only the original texts of 25 chapters with 1930 copyright dates are in the public domain, not the revised versions of these books. Interesting. But I'm curious about, like, the name itself. I'll have to look more into this. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes is public domain. But yes, you're right, Ivana. There was still some weird rights thing with Sherlock Holmes where they had to rename him to Sherlock Sholmes in The Great Ace Attorney. I am not sure why that is the case. That is really weird. Something to do with the Conan Doyle estate, maybe? No idea. It's very bizarre. Hello, Dungeon Donut. Welcome in. But yeah, I'd love to have an NPC named Nancy Drew. And what if, like, you go up to the student NPC named Nancy Drew, and you're like, "Hey, Nancy, what are you doing today?" And she's like, I am a fundamentally incurious person who is investigating nothing of note. In fact, I hate investigating. I hate sleuthing as a concept. Please. I must stay in my little bubble and never learn anything new in my entire life." And then Judith would just go, "Okay. Bye." And then he'd never speak to her again. Girl detective. More like girl defective. Ha. Have I tried to solve a real life mystery? No. I'm not qualified for that. I ain't qualified for that. Well, this fluff is coming along nicely. Whoa. Thank you to Ziggurat for... Hold on, sorry. Thank you so much for the donation. And our goal has been achieved! Woohoo! Our goal for this stream, for tips, has been achieved. Thank you so much to Ziggurat. Much appreciated. And Ziggurat says, the surge, Age of Fiefdoms, the surge. Choose a side and command your troops in the deadly inked wastes. In the story mode or multiplayer to victory in the Onyx War. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I've never played Age of Empires, but I've never really thought of myself as like a strategy gamer type of person, but for the sake of expanding my horizons, I will probably have to try playing it at some point. And because you fulfilled our chat goal, that means we get to see... Hold on. The dancing Link gif. 1 second. That's a fake donation. That's just to reward you with the Link dancing gif. Thank you for your donation. But Kevin is a fake person. Kevin is back. Our fake donator Ken is back. Kevin is back. Thanks again for the donation. I can kind of imagine how an Age of Empires fiefdom game would look. It'd be pretty cool. You know, there are quite a few games where I didn't think that I would like them because they were a little bit out of my wheelhouse, and then I tried them and then I became addicted to them like crack cocaine. One of those was Resident Evil 4. I thought, oh, this is gonna be too hard, I'm not gonna enjoy this, it's gonna be scary. Then I tried it and I was like, this is like actually one of my favorite games ever now. Resident Evil 1, I thought would be too difficult, but it wasn't. It was difficult, sure, but it was a good time. I will say... What was I gonna say? Whoopsie. You know, I can't really ever think a game is too hard for me to play after I fully 100%ed Silk Song. Like, once you 100% Silk Song, suddenly every other game is not that bad. That hard anymore. I'm telling you, man. 100%ing Silk Song really changes your mindset. Changes your life. Everything is different now. I never finished Cuphead. I think I got to the last world. And then I put it down for the night and then I never picked it up again. I don't really know why. I think I was just doing other stuff. But now that I've 100%ed Silk Song, I don't think Cuphead will feel as bad anymore. You picked up on that? You picked up on flexing? Have you guys seen that meme where it's like, how do I put this? How do I put this? There's a couple variations of the meme where it talks about like this person be like, and then this person be like, and this person be like, and then right at the end, completely unrelated, it says, and then 2020 students be like, I never got a real graduation. How they have to like mention it in every conversation. That's me with Silk Song. Silk Song 100%ers be like, did you know I completed Silk Song 100%? Can you sing I'm Alice Angel? No, I cannot. I don't know that song. I'm assuming it's from Bendy and the Ink Machine? mean, that's probably the music. Blue Spirited Dragon says, I graduated in 2021. The entire last year was online, and it was the best time for me because school was hell for all 13 years for me. That's fair. I graduated college in 2020. And we didn't have a graduation, but I didn't like that school anyway. Alright, let's change the music. What shall we do next? Oh, I know. Ratchet and Clank. The OG Ratchet and Clank soundtrack. Aw, yeah. Yeah, if you guys have not heard the Ratchet and Clank soundtrack before, this is going to be a treat for you. There's some good beats in here. gave the introduction speech for your high school. That's pretty cool. Congrats. It really was an honor. I tried so hard on that speech and it was my local newspaper. Oh, that's cool. How fun. You know what I'm really looking forward to? The day that the game launches, I want to do a stream. Game launch stream. We're really looking forward to that. I imagine we could have so much fun doing like contests and giving away copies of the game as giveaways and stuff like that. That'd be really fun. Doing a fan art showcase, maybe. Lore question. How would prosthetic limbs work? Would they be made of metal or crystal? Good question. There's actually a character in the game who shows what that would look like. One moment, let me bring it up. Let me bring up my Sketchfab real quick. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. So you see for the Lunch Lord Seabrook here, he's got a prosthetic arm and it's using golem technology, basically. Crystals and stones and golden circuitry to make his prosthetic. So that's how I imagine it would look. The Lunch Lord cometh. Alright, I've done another goal. If anybody's interested. I'll probably just leave it up. Can we get 5 super chats? Let's see. Taylor says I can definitely see the same guy who played Gobber and How to Train Your Dragon playing him. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. I am really happy with how this tail's coming out. Definitely, definitely. Okay, for those of you who have played those games, what is the best? Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, or Sly Cooper? IMO, Sly Cooper. But that's because I've played more of the Sly Coopers. I need to play more Ratchet and Jak. I finished the first Jak. I need to play the second. I finished the first original Ratchet and Clank. I played the reboot, and I played A Rift Apart. So there's still a bunch of Ratchet and Clanks I need to play. I liked Jak and Daxter, but it frustrated me, to be honest. There were some parts that were just frustrating. I hope 2 will be a little better on that. But maybe that was just me being stupid. I 100%ed Silk Song. I should be able to get through Jak and Daxter without being frustrated. I think it was the lack of checkpoints, maybe, that was grinding my gears. I don't know. Yeah, it's a shame that the Sly Cooper movie was never made. Out of a lot of different franchises, Sly Cooper easily would work the best as a movie. Well, one of the best as a movie. A lot more potential than giving Last of Us a TV show. Last of Us does not need a TV show. It was already a movie game. And I don't say that derogatorily. A movie game is not a bad thing. But you don't need to turn it into a TV show. Literally all of the context you need is already there in the game. You could just watch a compilation of the cutscenes and you'd be fine. But hey, studio's got a studio. Uncharted also did not need a movie, because the whole point of the Uncharted games is that they're playable Indiana Jones movies. So when you remove the playable bit, it's just an Indiana Jones ripoff movie. And you get rid of what makes it special, the fact that it's a game. I am cautiously optimistic for the Zelda movie. One of the things I always worried about for the Zelda movie is how they would translate some of those character designs into live action. But from all the screenshots we've seen of it so far, it actually looks pretty darn good. I really like the casting choices and the costuming choices so far. So, cautiously optimistic? Just please let it be written well, I swear. And also make Link talk. Yep, I'm the type of person that thinks Link should talk when it's a non-game medium. If you read the Zelda manga, maybe you'll kind of get what I'm saying. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with indie ripoff movies like Mummy or National Treasure. In fact, I love those. but yeah, you can't just take what makes Uncharted unique, rip it away, and then expect people to enjoy it. Also, it was just... I didn't even watch the Uncharted movie. It just insulted me. I like Tom Holland, but he is not Nathan Drake. Don't even play with me. I do not play about Uncharted. I'm not saying that Link has to talk a lot. I'm just saying that he should talk. Just, he can be a fairly quiet character, but I have seen some fun fan interpretations where he's mute and uses sign language, which are pretty fun, but canonically he's not. He can be a more quiet, reserved kind of character, but still talks when he needs to. That's canonically how he is in Breath of the Wild. At least pre disaster. Pre-Calamity. Post-Calamity, whenever you talk with characters, Link talks a lot. If you count your dialogue choices as talking. And he likes making puns. Project Seltzer, I think that's a pretty good comparison. You know what, I can see Link being kind of like Master Chief. Master Chief doesn't talk that much, but he does talk, and he has a voice. And he talks when he needs to. And whenever he does, it's like, it's important, you know? But yeah, that's just some of my thoughts. He better talk. Maybe I'm just tired of fandom artists like making comics with Link talking, and then the comments are filled with people being like, no, he shouldn't be talking. Why is Link talking in your comic? You know, it's like, do you not know what? Do you not play the games? Link talks all the time. It's just in dialogue choices. But that's just a pet peeve of mine. It would be like, you know, it'd be like adapting Persona 5 or Persona 4 or Persona 3. And then the character doesn't talk at all. The main character doesn't talk at all. Can you imagine watching the Persona 4 anime and the main character doesn't talk at all? It doesn't make sense. You mean Chris Pratt? I thought Chris Pratt did an alright job as Mario. Like, I just kind of got used to it as I watched the movie. And I was like, yeah, this works, I guess. It's alright. It's okay. It doesn't ruin the movie for me. As sad as it is, though, to see Charles Martinet being let go as Mario in all of the games. See, I wouldn't have minded if it had been just Chris Pratt for the movie, but they've completely gotten rid of Charles Martinet for the games too, and that's where I'm like, oh, that sucks. It doesn't seem like he wanted to retire. Anyway, I don't know all the details, so I'll leave it at that. I agree, Oscar. I think he was better as Mario than Garfield. But I would, to be honest, even if Pratt wasn't Garfield, I would not have gone to see Garfield anyway. I am not in the target audience. I used to like reading Garfield comics a lot when I was a kid, so. Yeah, he does not work as Garfield. He worked in the Lego Movie. I think he somewhat worked pretty well as Mario, but Garfield, nah, come on. That's just too much casting at that point. It's just lazy casting. Obviously not Chris Pratt's fault, but the casting director for sure. Or, you know, the casting director might have been pressured by higher-ups as well. Well, people like Chris Pratt, so put him in everything. Hold on, hold on. Slow your horses. Also, that new Chris Pratt movie, Mercy, I think it was called. I thought the premise of it sounded really interesting, and I was actually kind of looking forward to it coming out. And then I saw the reviews were really bad, and I was like, oh, that sucks. Because I thought the concept was actually pretty cool. It's basically like a detective mystery movie where Chris Pratt has to solve the murder of his wife while he's in this AI high-tech courtroom, and he has to look through all the surveillance footage and phone history messages and like VR crime scene stuff. He has to solve it in the courtroom. It looked like a pretty cool idea, but apparently it was bad, so that sucks. I love those kind of like high-tech mystery, recreating the crime scene VR type of mystery stuff, you know? So, yeah, I was kind of bummed out it wasn't good. Maybe I'll try to give it a watch sometime, but... Yeah, Chris Hemsworth did a great job as Optimus Prime. I was shocked. That was a good movie. I haven't really been a Transformers fan in a long time. I used to be a huge fan of Transformers when I was a teenager. I really liked Transformers Prime and animated. But, so watching Transformers 1, kind of made me relive that a little bit. Relive a little bit of that nostalgia. And it was actually a quality time, which was much appreciated. I'm very sad it bombed. I would have really liked to see more in that version of the Transformers universe. Yeah, Oscar, that's become a problem with Invincible too. Listen, I really like the Invincible adaptation, animated adaptation. And I really like the voice acting in Invincible. That is probably one of the best parts of the adaptation. But the voice actors are so expensive that the rest of the animation budget for the show is not great. And sometimes it's hilariously bad at some points. It's very good and serviceable most of the time. Some of the time. But, anyway. Oh! Swirl Beast, gave a $5 donation. Thank you so much! Much appreciated. I don't know why the alert didn't go off. I'm sorry about that. Thank you very much, Swirl Beast. Much appreciated. I like the little hippo sticker. That's really cute. Thanks for the support. All donations go straight to voice acting funding. Funded by viewers like you. Thank you. Aw, yeah. Yeah, I can't press thumbs up on his dono too. Maybe it's because it didn't have a message with it. That's weird. Very weird. It didn't count as part of the goal too. That's weird. Well, I consider it part of the goal, so that's all that matters. Taylor says, it's still cool how you got Amanda the Adventurer to be in your game. She plays the best character in the whole game in my opinion. Yeah, I'm so glad that she agreed to join the project. And I'm very excited to have her voice more of Marisol's dialogue, especially for Marisol's side quest, which should be very fun. It uses its tail like a pickaxe. Oh yeah, these guys would the dwarves would love these guys. Oh my goodness. Blue Spirited Dragon says, here's some treasure from my hoard. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. You have graced us with thy presence and made a fabulous donation to fund Noirmore Academy's continued education of our Drakenspirian populace. More Drakenspirian children will receive further education thanks to viewers like you. Thank you. Alright, ready for something exciting? Now it's time for some highlights, woohoo! Oh my goodness! Thank you so much! Thank you so much, Swirl Beast, for your wonderful donation. Let me favorite that heart. Oh my gosh, my tab just crashed. Let's try that again. Why did my tab just crash? Thank you so much, Swirl. Let me favorite that. Thank you for your wonderful donation. You have contributed to the education of Noirmore Academy's students. Or should I say, you have contributed to their voice being heard. Their voices will be heard thanks to you all. Okay, let's get this shine going. Look at how full our tip jar is. That is so fun. Why does this soundtrack sound like you're on the run? Because it probably is from that part of Ratchet & Clank. Probably from some combat encounter. Or another. Oh, that's a fun question, Oscar. Interested to see y'all's answers. You'd risk it all to try and teach Judith some manners. Celestia says, probably Deirdre. That's a good choice. Oh, I just looked in my server and I saw a post that says Disney has canceled their deal with OpenAI. They plan to invest $1 billion into the company and let Sora have access to AI-generated videos of characters from Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars. But now they have canceled it. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. I mean, didn't they just get a new CEO? And I heard that their new CEO is not into AI. So that might be why. That is great. Great news. Grimmel J says, are you interested in the Deadlock universe? Oh yeah. I am definitely interested in the Deadlock universe. I love the character design in Deadlock. I haven't had a lot of time to really like get good at the game yet and get into it. I mean, I have like 30 hours in it, but that's barely any time to actually get good at Deadlock. But as the game evolves, I'm really excited to kind of spend more time with it. There's only like so many live service games you can put time into at the same time when you also have a full-time job, you know? I've been playing Marvel Rivals, Genshin, and Deadlock. Those are my live service games I'm playing at the moment when I have time. At least Marvel Rivals isn't too hard to finish battle passes in. Anyway, I hope this new CEO is gonna bring some good things to Disney, because Disney has been rotting from the inside out for a long time now. It would really be nice to have another renaissance. I can only hope that after this live action Moana, he just like stops the live action production. That might be too much to ask for, but already the OpenAI thing is good news. It feels like the second Disney Renaissance was over way too soon. The one in the 90s lasted for a while. But the one starting from like Tangled and stuff. Ziggurat, thank you so much for the donation. He says, kneels in front of Judith. See, Judith, I like your spunk, but try to lean less on your brash side. The more on how cute you gets punched in the gut. Oh yeah, she would not like that. No way. You would definitely get punched for saying that. Have you seen Ninjago? I used to watch it when I was a kid. Jump up, flip back, kick around and spin. And then you'll jump back and do it again. The Rock looks awful in that trailer, sorry. No, I'm not sorry. That is not the kind of movie that needs to be live action. Maui is a larger-than-life type of character. Time to change the soundtrack. Let's see. Ooh, this one looks good. Let's try ambient Nintendo music from Forgotten Places. Hopefully this won't get me copyright struck. All right. Let's go back. Yeah, you know what, Celestial? I saw a tweet about Moana's hair and why they think they straightened out her hair. Apparently, the reason behind it might be so she's easier to green screen. Straight up. And that actually makes a lot of sense. Because curlier hair is much harder to key out green screen with. And this movie is basically entirely green screen. It's ridiculous. As if this $100 billion movie can't afford to green screen out curly hair. Come on. But that seems like the kind of decision they would make. Like, it's not even in a live action movie. It's 90% animated. Anyway, it's so ridiculous. Personally, I never liked Frozen, though, so I don't count that as part of the Renaissance. Sorry, I've hated, well, not hated, but been extremely ambivalent to Frozen ever since it first came out. I remember laughing in the theater when their parents died. Sorry. Because it just was so cliche to have the parents die. And it just happened like that so fast. It was startling. I was like, what the heck? I know a lot of people like that movie, but I personally do not care for it. I understand why people like it, though. No shade, no shade. And the music is good. Because it's such a cliche for the parents to die in Disney movies that them just doing it like that and that quick made me go like, what? My mom was laughing too, actually. It was almost like a parody bit. Their parents were awful. No. I thought it was kind of weird that they were trying to frame their parents as very sympathetic when they were pretty awful. But that's all. That's all I'll say. Olaf was not near. Well, I just said that was all I was gonna say. I guess I lied immediately. Olaf was not as bad as I thought he was gonna be, but still, he's just kind of there. That's all. Now I'll stop. What fictional robot do you think can survive the zombie apocalypse? I don't know, all of them? I don't think zombies would care to attack a robot. Robots would probably be 100% safe. Frozen is experimental era. Huh. That makes sense. think this is going pretty well so far. I'm not entirely happy with how the horns have turned out yet. I still need to do some more detailing on them, I think. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, thank you. Oh yeah, Disney definitely had a dark era. That's stuff like the Black Cauldron. Enchanted BBFly asks, what's after the cow? Are you doing outfits? I'm considering it. Either that or Deacon's redesign. Or a different creature, but probably a human since we just finished a creature. Wish is... man. Wish is yucky. Pure yucky. Which sucks because I remember when we first saw the initial announcement for it and saw how Asha looked, I was like, ooh, this could be pretty interesting. I like the design of the main character, and then bam, it actually came out. I saw the reviews and I was horrified. Like, how could this happen, dude? What? Crazy. I like seeing people's reworks of it too. The reviews were like a post-mortem, yeah. Listen, I know we can blame corporate heads for a lot of things sometimes, but I don't know, unless there's like evidence of it, I don't know for sure if we can blame Wish's failure entirely on corporate. Sometimes people just make bad things. You know? Sometimes story heads, sometimes the writers, sometimes they just make bad things. And sometimes it is just corporate, you know? Sometimes it's a mixed bag. As much as it tends to be corporate that does the bad stuff, sometimes it really is just the creatives not doing good work, okay? Like, sometimes people make dumb stuff, dumb decisions. Sometimes people make bad things. Considering it's Disney, I would lean toward it being corporate, but I also don't think the head writer is a very good writer. Like I said, I don't like Frozen, I don't like Frozen 2, and those were her other two projects. I don't think she's a very good writer. Sorry. And every time I see a project of hers, I see like a behind the scenes, she's always talking about like how she doesn't actually know what's gonna happen in the script, even though she's the one that's supposed to write this thing. Sorry. Again, I don't know all the information behind the scenes, but she just, I don't think she's a good writer. I don't. Jennifer Lee. Yeah, Jennifer Lee. She's the one that did Frozen, Frozen 2, and I believe Wish as well. I think she's like head of Disney Animation right now. Though I might be wrong, I'd have to look that up. Last I heard, she was head of Disney Animation, and I was not happy about that. Nope, that's Jared Bush. Okay, yeah, I'm wrong. I heard she was pretty high up now. Dear Lord. Wow, that was a lot of painting. That was a lot of painting fleur. Not gonna lie, the 2D and 3D debate kind of grinds my gears a little bit, because I think both are incredible mediums. But people, depending on what side of the debate they're on, they completely write off one side. You know? Like, there will be people that be like, I hate that this movie's in 3D. I don't want any more movies in 3D. And then there are people, like corporates, who are like, 2D just isn't relevant anymore. It's too expensive and it sucks and we don't even know how to do it anymore. So, bye-bye. But both of them are wrong. They're just two different mediums. And both are valid and need to be used appropriately for the right stories, I'd say. They're all beautiful art forms. But I will definitely say that 2D is the one that is most corporately underappreciated right now. So I understand why people are rallying against 3D in that sense. But neither style is necessarily better or inferior. It depends on what you're going for in the story. I say as the resident 3D artist who may or may not be biased. But I love both styles a lot. A lot. They're both incredible in their own ways. But yeah, I think it's the lack of mainstream 2D animation in the Western market has understandably made people hungry for more, which I'd love to see. Thankfully, we have Japan, as well as some other foreign studios that are still doing 2D. Like the Chainsaw Man movie, and the Demon Slayer movie, which did incredibly well in the West as well. Yeah, 3D does have unique art styles. What you talking about? Have you seen Spider-Verse? It is amazing how much anime has uplifted 2D in the modern era. It's awesome. I'm very glad that Japan and France as well, I believe there are a lot of 2D French films that are still coming out, as well as some other countries. And of course, there's the studio behind, the Irish studio behind Song of the Sea and Wolfwalkers and Secret of Kells. They are also working on a new movie, which I'm really excited for. I believe it's about an Irish immigrant and a Native American boxer characters. Should be pretty cool. No, even back in the day, 3D did have a unique art style to it. You just have to... It wasn't just Pixar, there was other places doing it too, and they each had different styles. Look at Jimmy Neutron versus Pixar. Like, those were different. Same with VeggieTales. VeggieTales was one of the first CG series ever made. And I would say that looks different than Pixar. 3D can always have unique art styles, especially if you look at games. Look at all the indie games that are in 3D on Steam right now, and you're gonna see many, many, many different art styles. But yeah, Laika and Tom Moore doing new films is pretty darn exciting, if I do say so myself. You know what's really funny to me about Laika is that their films are not really that successful, but because the studio head is the son of the Nike CEO, he just bankrolls them. It's amazing. The reason I think that's really funny is because that's basically how the fine arts worked for hundreds of years. You would just have a rich, wealthy patron who sponsored a specific artist to make whatever the heck he wanted. That was just how the arts worked. So what's funny is that Laika is basically continuing the tradition of the Medici family. Of true wealthy art patrons that actually are sponsoring real art and creativity and artists that actually love their crafts. So, yeah, that's pretty neat. For once in this modern world, we have a rich person who's actually using their money to sponsor real talent. And not just going after the bank, you know. Thank goodness. How rare is that these days? Bring back rich people who actually give a crap about the arts and aren't just trying to replace them all with AI. Oh yeah, Aardman. I wonder what they're working on next. I really liked Wallace and Gromit growing up. Or NFTs, yeah. I'm so happy the NFT thing is over now. What is interesting is that when the NFT stuff was first coming out, I thought, oh, this seems kind of interesting. It's a way of using art as collectibles and being able to kind of purchase the rights to the art through a streamlined system. And then my thought was like, oh, so you own the rights to the image and you own the actual file itself, right? Like a little bit more of a commission. But then the more I dug into it, the more I discovered, oh no, this is not even really that. It's just garbage. Like, this doesn't really help artists at all. It's just a scam to scam people. That's it. Like, sure, maybe whichever artist made the NFTs is making bank, but nobody else will ever. And what? They're making $27K off of an image they could have made in 15 minutes? That's ridiculous. Anyway, I think we all know by now how stupid NFTs are, but at first I had thought, oh, this seems like an interesting idea, and then the more I learned, the more I was like, okay, no, this is really dumb. This was obviously something not made by actual artists as a concept. Yeah, NFTs have pretty much completely died out. I heard about that too, Celestial, the NFT festival that people almost got blinded at because they were using, like, the wrong lights. Crazy. I just bought land in the metaverse. Yep, you're right, Ziggurat. They are worth nothing right now. I feel bad for the people that got scammed, but c'est la vie, I guess. all those influencers that tried to scam people into it. And people trusted them because they thought, oh, I like this influencer, I'm gonna trust them. Trust that they know what they're doing. Ugh. Gross. Is Sora AI actually shutting down? Give me a source on that, because if so, I would be very excited. Yeah. My source says that I made it the heck up. No, I don't know. But yeah, give me a source if you can, because I'd love to know. No, Carabella is not complete yet. There's still a lot of little polishing and detail work to do. I still have to texture the udders, and then I have to do the stripes as well, and the glitter. Cranky told me an NBC News says it's shutting down. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on, let me check. Yes, apparently this does seem to be true. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. I said I was doing the stripes. Did I not say that? I thought I literally just said that. Are you going to give Deacon gold hair for his redesign? Ah, no. He's not a... What the heck? Wait. Did I not? No, he's not Irish. I have not seen David from Angel Studios. It looks like a very interesting idea, but it seems like it's more geared for kids' audience, and maybe I don't know if I'd get anything out of it. I'd have to see, I guess. It seemed a little too goofy for what I would want from a David movie, I guess. But I don't know, I have to actually watch it. Seems like it'd be good for kids, I don't know. It gave Prince of Egypt vibes. Well, that's always good vibes to have. David was a redhead. I haven't heard that before. It's in the Bible. What? Where does it say that David was a redhead? I haven't heard about Lucifer having red hair either. Source. He had a reddish appearance. Huh. Taylor, the Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss have net zero actual information about Christian theology. You will have learned literally nothing about it from those shows. They are like completely removed from actual theology. If you want to try to learn more about actual biblical theology, you should watch this YouTube channel called The Bible Project. They do a lot of like beautiful animated videos about different biblical themes as well as different Hebrew words and how they apply to the theology. So you're not learning anything about it from Hell of a Boss. Trust me. They just take things in name only. It's a purely fictionalized show. Like, you would learn more about Greek mythology from Percy Jackson than you would Christian theology from Hell of a Boss. Let's just say that. I'm not saying, by the way, that Hell of a Boss needs to be 100% accurate to Christian theology. No, it's fiction. But I'm just saying that you can't use it as a source. I would say you don't even know, like, yeah, nothing in the Helliverse is really accurate at all. They made Saint Peter white. Let's see, the Bible describes David as having a ruddy, reddish appearance, which many interpret to take to mean he was redheaded or had a red auburn complexion in 1 Samuel and 16:12 and 17:42. Interesting. Are you sure it doesn't mean like he was tanned red by the sun? Is he was a shepherd and he was out in the sun all the time? I don't know. Have to look more into the translation, I guess, literal translation stuff. But that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's like evil to watch the shows or anything like that. I'm just saying you don't want to get your learning from those. But yeah, if you are interested in some kind of bite-sized, really nicely explained videos about certain biblical concepts, as well as recaps of some of the books, done in a very beautiful and artistic way, I'd recommend looking up the Bible Project YouTube channel. Pretty cool stuff on that channel. No tan. Esau is described as the same when born. Harry too. That's right. I do remember Esau being a bit kind of reddish, redheaded. Yeah, okay, that makes sense then. Interesting. The Prince of Egypt is also actually not super accurate either. Not that that's a bad thing, because I do think it's an incredible movie. But there's quite a bit that is changed from the actual Book of Exodus. But it was changed in a respectful way, in a way that helps them tell the story that they wanted to tell. So I don't really have any qualms with it. But yeah, the Prince of Egypt is actually not super accurate. But man, is it a great movie. Yeah, the movie did... The David movie did have him with reddish brown hair. That is true. Yes. And tanned as well. I think what Enchanted Baby Fly means is like naturally brown skin. Which would then, once you're in the sun, of course get even more tan to a certain extent. But I think we're just spinning our wheels here. We could probably move on to a different different topic. Yeah, let's move on to a different topic. Let's see. Oh, I was actually gonna make a post on my Instagram at some point. Hopefully soon. That was gonna be which is your favorite teacher at Noirmore Academy, or favorite okay, let me ask you guys something. 2 different questions, but similar. Number 1, who is your favorite teacher character, like as a character in Noirmore Academy? And 2, who would you actually want to be your teacher at Noirmore Academy if you were a student? Because I feel like the answers could be very different between those 2 questions. Probably the fencing instructor, Bagshaw. The music teacher, maybe the fencing instructor. Mm-hmm. My best class is always English, so Mr. Cabrera. Nice, nice. Ivana says, history teacher, as I'm interested with the lore, or fencing teacher. Nice. Oh, Goodness. Thank you very much, Oscar. Much appreciated. Oscar says, back to Normal Academy, I'd probably mentor Nicholas because he needs a positive role model on family issues and someone equally into history as he is. That's a great answer. Like... Thank you very much for the support. Oh my gosh, guys, our tip jar is filling up. How fun is that? Thank you. Miss Oscar says favorite teacher would be Mr. Cabrera. He's a clever, well-traveled guy. That's for sure. Enchanted VP Fly says, I still can't get over who Nicholas's mom is dating. Yep, that's how you're supposed to feel. It feels like... What? Huh? How is that happening? Any of you guys been keeping up with the new Invincible season? Shook, shaken, shaketh. But you'll see through Nicholas's side quest, you'll hear about how they met. And what on earth were the circumstances to facilitate that? Oh, Emma, I recommend Invincible for sure. As long as y'all in the audience are over 18, okay? It's an adult show. As the bigger my fan base gets, the more I'm probably gonna get a lot of kids in my fan base again. And I might have to be more careful what I recommend on stream. Like, no, little 14-year-old girl, I don't think you should be watching Invincible yet, so I probably won't mention it. I've been thinking about this a little bit, by the way. That if by God's grace, Noir Academy becomes really popular and I'm able to work on this full time and you know, all that good stuff. If it gets really popular, I might have to go full Toby Fox, Scott Cawthon, and just get off the internet most of the time and not get too involved with the fandom spaces, because that can go south real fast once you get in the big leagues of indie, you know. I think Toby Fox is very smart for not like talking much online. He just lets his work speak for himself and makes updates when he needs to. And announcements. Because at a certain level, once you get to a certain level of popularity, I don't know, it's just for your own sanity. And to try to remain sort of unbiased by what your fans are saying. You know? Like, you don't want the will of the horde, I guess you could say, to influence everything about your work, right? I would say Noir is like a solid T rating. If we're going by game ratings. Solid T for teen. There's some blood. There's some light cursing. Like Psychonauts, I guess, would be a good comparison. Though I don't know if Psychonauts has blood in it. So, anyway. Yes, I am talking about Gooseworks. I feel bad for Gooseworks. Dana Terrace also, I think, has been in... People have been making some very, very bizarre discourse about her stuff. Anyway, I think y'all know what I mean. So don't be surprised if this game... If, again, God willing, this game really takes off, I might retreat into my little creative cave and not come out very often. And now you'll know why. Oh, yeah, don't get me started on the Brony fandom. It was a mistake, I think, for some of the people working on the show to get too communicative with the fandom. And I think pandering to the fandom too much was a mistake. Like, the 100th episode was fine because it was a cute little special, but I don't know, man. That was a weird time. Brony fandom was a really weird time. And not a safe space for kids on the internet. I will just say that. Oh, of course, every fandom can be terrible, that's for sure. But for God's sake, if any of you guys become parents, do not let your kids on the internet. Please. They will look up their favorite cartoon character on Google and see the most scarring stuff imaginable. I know that from experience. Do you regret being a brony? No. But there were a lot of good things in that time of my life, but bad things too. That show did inspire me to make my own stuff. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the same person I was if I hadn't been a fan of that show. There's a lot of love and creativity put into it. Oh, that happened to you with Pokemon? I don't doubt it. Yeah, giving kids a gaming PC that doesn't have internet access, that seems to be a good way to go about it. Maybe it doesn't have a Wi-Fi card and you just have an Ethernet cable to download the games onto it or something. And then you take out the Ethernet cable and put it away when kids are around, you know? I'm someone that feels so passionately about this. There's been times when I'm like, almost wanted to make a whole PSA campaign to parents about this stuff. Don't let your kids watch it. Because I've personally been affected by it. I don't want it to happen to any more kids. So, if you ever see a PSA campaign come out from me in the future about warning parents about the dangers of the internet, well, don't be surprised. There's always that balance, though, you know? Between what is censorship versus what is actually done to make kids safe. And I do feel like there's been a weird sort of co-opting of actual child safety just to use it for censorship, I guess. If that makes any sense. This is a very deep discussion, but ultimately, the blame should be put on the parents first, and the responsibility should be on the parents first to stay away from this stuff and try to protect their kids from this stuff, you know? Oh my goodness! Project Seltzer, thank you so much for the $5. If Razor met Judith, I'd have him wear a special white tunic with a light blue undershirt and white tights if he visited Neuves. Oh, very cool. Like, that would be his sort of Neuvessen style outfit. That is fun. Thank you very much. And with that, we have our goal, our second goal fulfilled. 5 out of 5 $5 donations. Thank you so much, everybody. You know what that means. That means it's time for Dancing Link GIF. Next donation is a fake one. This is not real. This is not real. Thank you, Kevin, for the $4 fake donation. That is not real. So that we can see our Dancing Link GIF. I really gotta find that GIF again so I don't have to do this every time. I don't have to put a fake donation every time. Thank you so much for fulfilling the goal. That is, it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing. Thank you so much, everybody. This voice acting will be funded thanks to viewers like you. Thank you. Sorry, let me read some of the comments earlier that I didn't get to see yet. My cousin is 12 and is streaming Roblox on TikTok, but he isn't even allowed to be on there? Oh my god. No. No. That's bad, yeah. There's a lot of problems with Roblox, as I'm sure you guys have seen. A lot of very concerning stuff. See, Roblox, to me, that is where it makes sense to have actual heavy censorship, because that platform is specifically for children. So, yes, I would expect that kind of platform to be heavily moderated. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Enchanted BBFly, for the $10 donation. Enchanted BBFly says, I had to, smiley face. I'm having a good day, thanks to you and the community. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, I really appreciate that. Wow, yeah, thank you. I don't know what else to say. Our tip jar is basically filled up. How great is that? Thank you so much, everybody. What a great stream. I'm going to probably have to end the stream in about 10 minutes because we're coming up on 3 hours, and I'm going to go watch Project Hail Mary tonight. Next stream, I'll let you know what I think about it. I've heard a lot of incredibly good things. So I'm off to watch it with my friends. And yes, I was talking about the Schlepp incident, which was horrible. Oscar says, if the game actually makes a prominent impression, you could get that PSA off the ground. Yeah, I think so. Because I'm coming from experience and a professional background. Yeah, totally. Thank you so much, everybody. well, while I'm still on, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do these stripes. My throat is getting a little itchy. I hope I'm not getting sick. Okay, let me show you how we're gonna do these stripes. The neck. Okay, here we go. Freeze, invert, freeze. Then show, hide, freeze. Oh, Swirl says that was why I couldn't make it to the beginning of the stream. Oh, you were watching the movie? What did you think about it? I probably need a glass of water. Hold on, you're right. I'm gonna drink right now. You're right. I'm hydrated now. Thank you. I had a glass of water next to me the entire time and completely ignored it. Maybe I'll leave it up to a vote which, what we stream next. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that on the Discord. I'm gonna make a poll right now. On the Flutterstars dev stream. Okay. What project should I stream next? Deacon redesign / remodel, or rigging the diamond cow, or cowboy Judith outfit, or I'm probably not gonna do the crow yet because we just did a creature. I feel like we gotta do a person next. Or, so what should the fourth option be? Maybe... I know I've got something. Oh, maybe Deacon's dad? Deacon's dad is gonna get a model. Deacon's dad. Or maybe I should put Judith's dad. Hold on, I'm gonna do Judith's dad. Because Judith's dad also needs a model. Okay, hold on. Let me put little emojis for these. And duration, let's have it 1 week, since it'll be 1 week until the next stream. Okay. I put the poll on my Discord, Flutterstars Dev Stream channel, so feel free to vote for what we should stream next. What project we should stream next. More practice in the Inkros Designs Men Challenge. Technically, Judith's dad already has a design. Now I just have to model him. I'm probably going to work off of the base mesh of another male character I've already made. Like Mr. Cabrera or something. By the way, guys, I just want to thank you again for all the support. It's not just the donations, but also just being here and chatting and interacting and being part of the community. It's very uplifting for me. I didn't think anybody would really want to watch these streams. But the fact that I have a regular group of people that really actually enjoy sitting here listening to me ramble while I painstakingly doodle all this stuff is very nice. So thank you very much once again. It's always nice to have a little bit of company when I'm doing this. Alright, are you ready for the secret ingredient, by the way? The secret ingredient to these stripes is blend mode. I'm still not done drawing the stripes, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them. So, the way these stripes are going to look, let's see, we have to experiment a little with our blend modes. We could do dissolve, which doesn't look good. I never use dissolve. Darken does not work. Multiply, color burn. We want to, okay, lighten. Hold on. Let's see, lighten, screen, color dodge. See, color dodge is looking pretty good, wouldn't you say? I'm going to keep it on color dodge for now, though I might still experiment with them later. I just love how, like, primal these stripes look. I thought it'd be fun to give this cow a little bit of a sort of primal edge to it. Like a saber-toothed tiger, but it's not a predator. Love the stripes, says Oscar. Reminds me of the tiger stripe raptors. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. Yep. This is already making the design look a lot better, I think. Just a little bit of stripes to break up the form. Sweet. See you, Oscar. Have a good night. I'm about to wrap up this stream as well. Okay, I'm gonna look at the poll really quick to see what people have been voting. Show results. Right now, the Cowboy Judith outfit is totally in the lead. That should be fun. Last minute lore question. Can Cyclone do stuff like bend water and elemental stuff essentially? Kind of. As much as you could do with telekinesis, I suppose. It would probably look very different from water bending and not be very coordinated. They couldn't like keep the water together in the same way we can. It would be like trying to hold a ball of water with your hands, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. In any case, I think that's going to be it for me for today. I'm gonna go off and watch Project Hail Mary tonight. And next week, I'll show you how the cow looks. And it looks like, from the votes so far, we're probably going to be modeling Cowboy Judith outfit, but we will see. I might do an everyone ping to get people's thoughts. But yeah, that's all for me for today. Thank you again so much for all of your support. See ya!